Today I took 3 trades. So let's go ahead and review the trades that I took. One of those trades was actually a FOMO trade. Now you'll see which one it was in just a moment. As always, I'm going to go ahead and review the trades, and then I'm going to show you the chart, see what I was looking at, see what I was thinking in the moment as we were trading this live. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So if you go up to the charts here, I'm going to go ahead and press play. We're already about 40, we're at 640, about 10 minutes into the session. And so we're going to go ahead and start and see where we are here. To the first trade that we took for the day, right here, as you can see, they're starting to go up above the EMAs. What we're looking at here is there was a little bit of aggression to the downside. Price did not go down further, which to me indicated an absorption. So I was debating whether to get in here or not. I wasn't sure. I saw the big trades. I saw several of them in one specific area. So that prompted me to think about this trade to get in. I waited a little bit longer here so that way just to see if this was confirming. And as it started to come back up, I took the risk. I adjusted my stop size, and we went ahead and started the trade. So let's go ahead and see what I do here.
Order filled.
All right, so here, as you can see, I went in with one contract. Didn't want to go super heavy on this to begin because I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure that it was going the way I thought it was going. As soon as it started going up, as you can see, I'm $15 up, $17 up, $20 up now. So I start to see it going my way. So I'm like, okay, well, it's going my way so far. So far, so good. If it makes these high volume nodes, as I mentioned in previous videos, then that's when I want to start adding.
Order filled.
So I started adding there. As you can see now, my entry is right above the high volume node. And then my stop is way down here, risking 264 now for 387. So now I'm starting to look for more places to add. I want to see if it's going to go up a little higher. What I want to see is a retracement to try to add a little more and then reduce my stop size, right? So let's go ahead and see what I do here. Okay, and as you can see right there, that's where I put my stop. Again, take profit just for reference. So now it retraced, right? It's retracing here. As it's retracing, I don't want it to go any further down than that high volume node that we had there. So I'm looking for a place to add here again. If we should go in, our full size will be 5 contracts. That's what we're looking to go into. So I'm wanting to see if it starts to pull back up. If it does, I want to add a little more.
Order filled.
As you can see, I start to add as I see it's starting to break. I start to find an area to start reducing my risk. I want to reduce my risk right below those aggressive sellers that tried. We're at 3 here. I want to see if I can add a little more. But at the same time, I do want to reduce my risk. Very, very important. Again, this is a pretty good trade so far, right? You see it bounce up, retrace a little bit, test that high volume node, reject, and continue there. So it's so far so good. And what I was thinking here is I want to take off everything at that high. I want to take off a couple as it goes up this time, just because I want to be a little bit more cautious. I got in with 3 here. I started adding a little more. Now we're up 4. Now I want to reduce my risk because I don't want it to be $1,000 risk, right? That would essentially blow my account. I don't want that. I want to keep it in the range of $500. Now I'm looking for another area to potentially reduce more of my risk. I'm thinking about that high volume node where we first started our trade to try to move it back there. If it goes back at that point, then it's not a good trade. So we're going as it goes up here. Let's see.
Order filled.
And then finally I add the 5 contracts here. The entry will be right where that high volume node is, reducing my risk one more time. We're still underneath the $500, right? So we don't want to get anything bigger than 500. As it's going my way, I'm continuing to add. I've now removed my canceled order there, Now I'm switching it to a higher amount, right? I want to take off everything except one in case it does run higher. It's nearing my target now. Now, so as it gets close to my target, I'm thinking of a way to go to break even, start to reduce some of that risk again, or either trail or somewhere where I don't have to worry about it coming back and stopping me out for a loss, right? So I'm looking to see where I can put my stop loss as it goes up here. And now it's testing that last small high volume node. It's getting aggressive. Here we go, 450, 475. See right here, I could have removed and I could have been out, but I wanted it to hit my target. So because it was so close and it was just right there, that could have ended the day right there at 470, 450, almost $500. I could have just called it a day. What did I do? Well, I waited, right? So I waited a little bit longer for it to hit my target. And this is what happens, right? So I started to freak out because it started to come down. And I'm like, well, I just had it there. I don't want to lose the opportunity of it hitting it and it coming all the way back down and taking me out at a loss when it was already floating with close to $500 in profit. So what you're going to see me do here now is I'm going to start to trail pretty aggressively right behind the candle, and it's going to end up taking me out, right? So you're going to see it come down here, trying to test this high volume area. I start to freak out a little bit, right? I don't want it to come back. I see it start to push up. And as soon as it starts to push up, I let go of the mouse there and start to trail. So you'll start to see here shortly. So it starts to turn green here. The candle starts to turn green, which means there was a rejection of the high volume node at the bottom, right? So I start to move my stop here. Now the candle's closing, trying to tempt it to go down. Starts to move back up here. I want it to continue. Ideally, I wanted to take out my stop, my 4. I stop at 403 right there. That's where I let it go, where it turned green. And it's right there. It's right there.
Order filled.
And it just comes back and takes me out. Good trade overall, right? Great trade, great adding. I don't have any complaints with this trade. Nothing to complain about. Now, here goes the next trade. Right here again, I could have called it a day. Should have called it a day right at this moment. However, this is what I do next. So as you can see, this is what I was looking at, right? So we're looking at the other chart. This is still part of the recording. You're going to see two big trade clusters going up towards the top side of 41 and 34. And then you see that big red line at the very top. That I'm considering as 7 a.m. liquidity, right? I'm looking for 7 o'clock to hit, them take out that liquidity and continue going further. Sometimes it does those quick spikes. And sure enough, you'll see here exactly what happened. So when I say that this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking at. When I'm talking about liquidity, those lines right there, those are orders. So at this point right here, it's about to hit that target. So now it hits it. We're at 889, right? So that's a gigantic order. That's huge, right? That nowhere have I seen that in the last couple of days. That's a huge order, a huge buy signal for me. So I'm looking for a way to get in. I'm looking to see if it's going to continue. It's not 7 o'clock yet though. We have 1 minute left for 7 o'clock. And everybody knows what happens on news releases, right? Liquidity sort of stops. You'll see right here in just a few seconds what happens. So I see this gigantic order and I'm thinking this is another opportunity to get in. This is massive. Let me consider getting into this trade as a continuation trend play.
Order filled.
And immediately,
Order filled.
as you can see, immediately, that candle just took me out. It just took me out. Went straight down, took out the bottom liquidity at the very bottom. So I wasn't looking at the other chart at this time. I was only looking at this. trying to get in prior to a continuation. This wick completely destroyed the profits I had just made. Now I'm minus $109.40. And so now, this is my final trade here, trying to see what I can do if I see an opportunity here. I'm still thinking trend continuation, being that there was such a giant trade there, such a giant buy order. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So now I get in with 2 contracts. Again, I don't want to go in full size here, because if it does come back all the way down, then I'll lose for the day, right? So let's look at what I do here. So I go in with 2 contracts. My stop is way down below. Now I don't want to keep it there for too long, right? We're minus $600, sort of above our threshold of $500. At this point, I'm getting a little bit emotional. I did FOMO into this, so into the first trade that got me taken out. So now I'm starting to lose my logic here. So I did think, again, the play for this one is trend continuation after such a big order. That's what I'm thinking in my head. However, my emotions are telling me that I should have probably waited, or maybe I should have just taken the loss for the day, right? So I'm starting to feel this as I'm taking this trade. And so it starts to come down. And so I'm trying to see here, if it starts to come back up, I want to add to try to reduce and average down, which is something I shouldn't be doing, but I'm going to do here in just a moment. So you'll see right now.
Order filled.
Okay, so now I average down right here by 1, right? I'm going 1 contract at a time, trying to keep it in between that order block, that high volume node, trying to keep it in there. I don't want to go above too high. Actually, I want to stay
Order
by
filled.
the EMAs. Here I add another one, right? So now we're in 4 contracts. Now we're almost close to full size. Now I definitely need to reduce my risk. So I start to reduce my risk to where I entered previously. Now I'm going to put my risk right below where the candle that wicked me out. So I'm going to keep it there. If it goes a little bit higher, I'm going to add, which I just added right now. Now we're looking for 1,000 risk to reward here, $1,000 versus 674. So we're going up here now. I want to see a break as we get up here closer. I want to see this break. I want to see this continue. Again, this is a trend continuation play based off of the big order that just came into the market. I want it to break. Again, I'm thinking, come on, break. I need you to break. Don't come back down. I can't be taken out here. We're risking 636 in this trade here. Again, going against our rules essentially with the risk tolerance. It's a little bit more than I would like, but I am risking this. I'm managing the trade. I want to make sure that if it starts going against me, I want to get out as soon as I can, or as soon as something shows me that it's going to go against me here. So we're continuing. Still, price has not moved yet. Price is still just above my entry. It hasn't broken that high volume node yet. I wanted to break this high volume node. And there you go. So here you start to see a little bit of a push, a little bit of a bounce up. I want to continue to see that. I want to continue to see it go in that direction, right? So now what I'm thinking here is I'm looking at the price amount number, right? So we're up 280, 290, 300. I'm looking to get to 500. Why 500? Because that would ideally get me to where I was prior. That's what I'm thinking in my head, right? That's what I'm thinking, either 400, 500. If I go to 400, I'd be up at least $300. That's great. Let's see where 500 is. Even if I let it go at 500 and it goes above and it reaches the $1,000 one, that's great. That's fantastic. That would be an amazing trade. An amazing comeback after this loss here. So we're waiting to see how much more it has to go up after this big move, after this big order. Although things are starting to slow down, it seems like this is what's getting me worried. You see how it's going through their fair value gap right there? that little high volume node that's right there, it's hitting that high volume node and it's about to go into it and reject, right? So it's going to reject here. And this is how I know the trend is continuing. This is how I know that this play is still valid. If it rejects this and it goes all the way to the bottom and take liquidity further down, or more liquidity is offered further down, then I don't want to be in this trade and I should be getting out. The hard part about this though is if you're new to trading, you'll understand that you see it coming down and you're hoping and you're wishing and we want it to go. It's going to come back up. It's going to come back up. But you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't come back up, right? So here we go. It's coming back. It's bouncing. So far, so good. And now we're breaking this high. So again, trends are high volume node, imbalance, retracement, break of high, or opposite, right? High volume node or consolidation, imbalance to the downside. Retracement, test of the high volume node, back down, break of the lows, right? So this is exactly what we're looking for, a break of the highs. Now it's already past 7. It's a little bit over the time that I normally trade, which is why I'm upset at myself because I took that other trade and I should have just called it a day. Now I'm here in this trade, stressing out whether it's going to be a positive day for me today. So here we go. 273, 281, 288. We're near 300 here. It's consolidating one more time. This is a little bit bigger of a consolidation. Here we go. Don't you just hate when it chops? It just chops and chops and chops, and you're thinking it's going, but it's not going to go, and it's staring, and it's just stalling. Yeah, well, this is one of those moments that traders don't want to be in, right? It's just stalling. It's not doing anything. So here I'm just waiting to see if anybody else gets in. Starting to touch that high volume node. Starting to touch my entry here. I have a couple of things that can hold this play together, which is that big high volume node that's there where that wick is. That right there is what would save me, right? And you see it start to come back up, bouncing off the EMAs, right? It's starting to come back up a little bit with more strength, more of a push. That's where that big order was. Now I want to see it break. I want to see this candle break the highs. And when it does break the highs, I want to see it push with strength, right? I want to see more people get into this play. So right now what I'm doing here is I'm just measuring where the $500 mark is. This is where I would ideally like to get out. This is where I want to get out. Just call it a day. I just want to be out of this trade for a win. So I just want to be out of this trade here at this point. It's been stalling a little bit more. I don't like some of the price action that I was seeing. So it starts to go up in my favor here, which is great. It's starting to reach that $500 mark. It's starting to get really, really close. And I'm guessing, I'm like, well, is it going to reach? Is it going to go over? Is it going to stall and come right back down? If it does, I need to go to break even, right? I need to stop this from killing further of my profits that I made throughout the week. Here it goes. It's coming closer. We're at 640 with 50 cents. It's just right there. It's just right there. I just needed to go over that just a tad, and then I'll let go. Watch it.
Order
I let
filled.
go. Done. That's it. Closed it. Now we're up 387, right? So we were up 391 previously, right? And so now I'm back to 387. That's it for me. I don't want to trade anymore. I'm already at a point where I'm a little bit more emotional in my trading. So I don't want to trade that anymore. I'm done. Just get me out. Tomorrow's going to be another day. Now, what did we learn here? What did I learn here? So, number one lesson, and stupid me because I should know this by now. 7 o'clock on the dot. Do not take a trade. Do not take a trade at 7 o'clock. Do not take a trade at 6:45. And do not take a trade at 5:30, right? exactly at those time frames, there is no liquidity. And so what does price do? It jumps. It goes all the way up or all the way down, right? And so depending on where that liquidity is, that's how the market moves. So I should have known this by now. And so that's the lesson I learned today. So one good trade, one bad trade, one good trade. Ultimately, it ended up working out, but sometimes that is not the case. So now let's take a look at the trades in the other chart. So now, as you can see here, again, I mentioned this absorption, 25, 29, 25, right here at this area. This is exactly where I was looking for price to either continue going down lower, which it didn't. Started to see it come up here. 33, more aggressive selling starts to come in. At the very beginning of open, we had a 246 sell cluster coming all the way down. And so now it starts to go back up. Here's where I start to think, okay, well, this looks like an absorption. People are being aggressive, very aggressive, and price is not coming down. I'm going to take this trade. Took it. That was a win, right? Second trade, as I mentioned to you, this 874 that's right here at this top is where I took this trade. Now, it doesn't show it here, but in the other chart, I just got wicked out, right? I got completely annihilated on this trade. Lost my profits. Now, I did get back in. Price did go a little bit against me. However, it did come back up and ultimately continued going up a little higher. Another big trade came in here, a 511, which led me to believe after I took my other trade where I got out, called it a day, that price was going to continue up if and only if it reached above this level, right? So there was a couple of areas yesterday, as you can see at the end of the session, were very positive, right? So this area of buyers is what prompted me to take the buys for today, right? So I was looking for a mean reversion, but to the upside. Why? Because there were a lot of buyers. Buyers had stepped in at the end of the session yesterday. So I want to see that be reclaimed. I want to see that high get taken out, which it ultimately did get taken out at the end of the day, towards the end of the day. But as you can see here, you start to see a lot more moves to the upside here. And it's a very slow push. And there are some retracements along the way, some profit taking. But these are the trades that I took today. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next one.